Now to a very first story, 7 people have sustained injuries in yet another confrontation between supporters of the 2 major political parties at a rally in Wollensee in the Northern Region. Now speaking to Joy News, Northern Regional Police PRO ASP Ebenezer Tete said the injured have been treated and discharged. The police is, however, yet to make any arrest as investigations are underway.
There was a rally at TI Nigeria by the MPP PC for the one Mr. Thomas Okaja. During the rally, we are told supporters of the MPP and NDC clashed. The persons who sustained injuries as a result of the clash said they can identify some people who they claim are sympathizers of the NDC from a village called Kumoni. So, as we speak now, 7 persons have sustained minor injuries. They were treated and discharged yesterday. Also, as a result of the clashes, the windscreen of the parliamentary candidate for the MPP was also smashed. The police managed to quickly move in, although we were not notified of the event. The public orders, we are supposed to be notified of any such event because they are public events, but the police was not notified. There was another similar rally by the parliamentary candidate for the NDC in another village. That's one too. The police was also not notified. So what is happening is that the political parties or the organizers of some of these rallies are going on their own, and the public orders, they are not informing or notifying police about the activities for the police to also plan and provide adequate support for them.
What actually triggered the clash?
We cannot tell for now. As we speak now, we have not been able to pinpoint exactly what might have occasioned the clash. And that is subject matter of investigation.
What is the security situation there now in the community?
As we speak now, calm has returned to the villages where this thing happened. The village was TI Nigeria. It's one of the communities, the Wollensee constituency. Calm has returned to TI Nigeria as we speak now.
Any arrests so far?
No.
Is there anything the police is doing to ensure the situation does not recur or does not escalate? As
I speak to you now, I am in a crunch meeting. The regional command is meeting all the commanders across the region. We are meeting this morning at the regional headquarters, and exactly what you are saying is part of the reasons why we are meeting. The officers have been asked to bring their deployment plan. Wollensee is an area to watch. It's part of our flashpoint area, and special attention is going to be given to some of these communities where there have been, pockets of violence, and it is going to inform us in deployment. Because, for instance, the areas where we have envisaged or designated as flashpoints are going to have extra security at the polling center. So yes, we are going to make special provision for some of these areas, including areas where, even though there have not been clashes, but because of precedent, because of past experience, on election day, the tension in those areas. So yes, they are aware, and they are going to make the arrangement.
Mr. Tete, finally, you're talking about election day, which is in 11 days, but
it is election pre, and then the election day proper, and then post-election. These things I'm telling you are not election day activity alone. They are pre, post, and then even the election day proper. So these are things that we are going to do before, during, and after.
I just want to get the understanding that you're sending a lot of men there, or some extra men, to ensure that the situation does not escalate.
That is what I'm saying, that on election day, all the areas, including Wollensee, that we have identified as trouble spots, will have extra security. There will be police properly we are going to send men to those areas. In addition to that, we will be zoning the areas. For example, in the Tamale metropolis, where we have 3 constituencies to watch, we are going to zone the area, and there will be 3 separate patrol teams. So for Tamale metropolis, we will have 12 patrol teams patrolling the Tamale Central, Tamale North, and then Tamale South. Same thing will be done to Tolon, where we'll have 6 patrol teams, in addition to sending officers and men to those areas to man the polling centers.
Now, still on election-related news, political parties want electoral justice education increased ahead of this year's elections. This, according to them, will mitigate violence and disturbances that characterize elections. The political parties expressed these sentiments at a training workshop on electoral adjudication processes for key political party leaders in Kumasi. Kwesi Deborah reports.
The forum aims to equip political parties with skills and expertise to deal with electoral disputes. Electoral illiteracy has been identified as one of the key factors in the management of electoral disputes.
So if our country can do well in these electoral exercises, the regulations governing this particular exercise will have to go down to the people. And if this is done, we all understand this process as a peaceful one. We all understand this process to be something that is so simple. If you are not able to do that, it's only going to result some chaos with the misunderstanding of simple regulations.
Because people don't understand there are rules, there are punishment for certain things. That's why we have all these chaos around elections. Elections are supposed to be a festival time, a time to enjoy, not a time to be afraid, not a time for businesses to collapse, not a time for us to be prison in our own country.
The forum is a collaboration between Legal Resource Center, Ladder Institute, and Star Ghana. Anes Mokhtar Mohamedin is a facilitator.
Going forward, I suggest that we should not just start with educations just when elections are imminent. It must be a going issue, so that if we could actually even tailor one of our courses in our elementary schools to actually, encapsulate what we call the civic education. I'm told some time ago it was taught in our schools. Yeah, but these days we don't see them in our schools. So that if we could actually start teaching that as part of our educational, process in growing up. By the time you are aged, if you've been hearing the same issue from your youth late or when you are mature, I guess you have a better understanding to it. So maybe we should think of introducing it as a course, as a syllabus in our body education.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
Now, supporters of the 2 main political parties nearly turned the memorial rites to mark the 1-week passing of the late mother of the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei Tutu II into a political rally. Now, supporters of both parties went into a frenzy, chanting the respective campaign slogans of both candidates. Immediately, the two arrived at the mourning grounds to sympathize with Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. Now, the otherwise beautiful display of Ashanti culture was marred, but for the timely intervention of security personnel at post.
Fetish priests representing shrines across the Ashanti attracted crowds to one side of the palace, dancing, chanting, and displaying their spiritual prowess. A procession of chiefs from the various paramountcies, clad in kuntunkuni, traditional thick black cloth for funerals, marching under their sprawling umbrellas, heralded the entry of the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei Tutu to the grounds. Sitting in his palanquin, he danced majestically, occasionally waving to the milling crowd. Soon as Otumfuo has taken his seat, shouts of "Yesisem, change is coming" filled the air as the crowd started moving towards flag bearer of the NPP, Nana Akufo-Addo, who was entering the grounds. A counter JM Twaso also filled the air as President Mahama entered few minutes later. The grounds became a replica of a political rally for about an hour. Some chiefs expressed their unhappiness with the turn of events.
Funerals, occasions such as this should not be mingled with politics, because politics is divisive. The entire society is divided according to the political lineage of individuals. And Ashanti in particular, this is a very prominent feature of our life. So it seems to me that we should not go that.
Enka amanyo semde mamuma yen fanko go santim hima na ewu so ho enye sabi party sem ne ebe na ye meye campaign wa ha edi say ye kodan na amanyo sem a na say ye ya chia amamre no kakra.
A date for the funeral will be announced later, according to Tumfor's linguist. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Love FM, Kumasi.
You're watching Joy News today with me, Benis Abubedu. Still to come, we'll tell you how 250 employees in the textile industry have lost their jobs. Now, the company they work for, the Ghana Textile Printing Company Limited, GTP, says the economic conditions are not favorable to its daily operations. There's more on this and many others right after this. Thank you for staying on Joy News today with me, Benis Abubedu. Away from election-related news to the health sector. To reduce claims, processing and delays in payment, the National Health Insurance Authority will ensure 50% of service providers submit claims electronically. The authority will also introduce a multi-year renewal payment plan for members. This was revealed by the Chief Executive Officer of the authority, Mr. Nathaniel Otu, at a media briefing in Accra today. My colleague Hannah Odami joins me on the phone with more. Hello, Hannah. What is this multi-year renewal payment plan all about?
Okay, so that kind of payment will be for subscribers who want to renew their claims that will sustain for 2, 3, or 5 years. You know, currently what you have to do is after every year you have to renew your claim.
Exactly.
And Mr. Otu is saying that that's quite tedious. So for convenience and saving time and cost, an individual can renew his or insurance for 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. Unfortunately, SNP contributors are exempt from this particular one because they pay their SNP contribution. So if you are a SNP contributor and you want to be part of this multi-year renewal, you will have to be a fee-paying or the National Health Insurance to be able to benefit from that. Also, you will enjoy, if you go for this multi-year renewal, you will enjoy a discount on processing fee. That's 25% if you are processing for 2 years and 50% if you are processing for 3 years. So for 3 years, you can hold a National Health Insurance card and you will not have to go and renew it. That's what it is about, Benny.
All right, Hannah, I'm sure some of these subscribers are there, some of the hospitals that offer National Health Insurance services. What are they saying about this? What's their reaction?
Well, unfortunately, where we were, it was just the CEO telling us about this, but it will still be rolled out in Ablekuma, Teshi, Letma, and Ayawaso, these 4 districts in the coming days, and then we will go out and find out from the people and the clients and members how they feel about this. But for now, it was just the CEO informing us about the new products that the National Health Insurance has brought to town.
All right, thank you very much for those updates. Hannah Odami is my colleague. And let's move away from the National Health Insurance Scheme. 250 employees in the textile industry have lost their jobs. The company Ghana Textile Printing Company Limited, GTP, says the economic conditions are not favorable to its daily operations. Some industry players have blamed the situation on the influx of pirated textile products flooding the market. Now, they explain until the challenge of piracy in the industry is dealt with completely, the industry is likely to worsen. Then there will be impacts both on workers and employers. Mr. Abraham Kumsin is the General Secretary of the Textile Garment and Leather Employees Union and a member of the Anti-Piracy Textile Task Force, and he says the company cannot be blamed.
I'm going to go. Not this is only GTP, ATL, Printex. They are all, on their marks, and anything can happen to them also.
You should be worried about it.
We started worrying about 20-something years ago, and the situation hasn't changed.
You are a member of the Anti-Piracy Task Force. What have you done about the situation? Because one of the things they mentioned is that, there are a lot of fake textiles on the markets, making it difficult for the quality ones, which are a bit expensive to sell.
Look, if we even go and sleep in the market, these people will bring them. Almost every day, we make arrests. I don't know whether they don't use money to. I don't know how they bring these things, because you arrest them today, tomorrow you go there, you see more of these goods there. So I don't know. It's only that we have to, for some time now. I think the last time we bent some of this cloth was January last year. We haven't done it. Perhaps they think that the exercise has stopped, and that eventually they can come back and come and collect their cloth. That's what maybe they think. So if we start burning, or if we continue burning, it will send very strong signals to them to know that really we are serious. But
at least being a member of the task force, you're in contact with those who are supposed to enforce the laws at our borders and other places. How come you're saying you've still not been able to do anything with this?
Sometimes the customs, I know they are doing what they can, but some of the custom officers, network with these smugglers.
Task force, you're part of the enforcement team. How come you've not been able to enforce it? The laws, you're also supposed to enforce the law.
We've been doing our part. That is when we seize the goods. At the moment, we have a lot of these seized products with the police and some with the Ministry of Trade. And going to ban them at this, that's why I'm making reference to the elections, because otherwise, under normal circumstances, banning cloth it shouldn't cost much. Okay,
beyond burning them, you find it as a criminal offense. You could cause the police to arrest them. Have you done any of that?
What happens is that when we arrest them, none of these traders will own up. They will come forward to claim ownership. They won't come.
Away from that, the stench that emanates from some parts of the Kolegono beach, popularly known as the Lavender Hill, will soon be a thing of the past, as all is set for the commissioning of a new fecal treatment plant by President Mahama. The Lavender Hill has been the dumping ground of raw sewage into the ocean for decades. The environmental hazard the practice poses to residents and aquatic life cannot be underestimated. With the construction of the fecal treatment plant, which started in September 2014, fecal matter from homes and other public lavatories is expected to be put to proper use. The project was executed by Nanjing Wonders Environmental Protection Company Limited, a Chinese construction firm, for Sewage Systems Ghana Limited, through a public-private partnership. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba is actually at that commissioning program, which is yet to commence. Have my colleague Maxwell on the line. Unfortunately, the lines aren't too good now. Ghana and other African countries are undertaking a joint reform in their land policies to deal with the growing conflict associated with land ownership. Representatives of the various countries have met in Ghana to fashion a strategy to deal with the problem. Lands Minister Nee Osam Mills has been speaking to Joy News about the reforms.
All African countries will benefit from this seminar. All African countries are the potential targets of large-scale land-based investments, because a lot of countries all over the world, a lot of companies, a lot of individuals are trying to take and to hold large tracts of land in today's world. They claim they need it for maybe farming purposes. They claim it will bring about food security. But sometimes their aim is that, let's say it's Korea, and they want to acquire land in, let's say, Madagascar. So they can acquire thousands of acres of land in Madagascar. The whole idea being that they will then be able to grow food and ship it back to their own mother country, for example. Some to take their land, they claim they're going to use for X purpose. Eventually they use it for Y purpose. And the whole idea being that they just simply want to hold the land, wait for the land to increase in value, and then sell, maybe for purposes of real estates or something else. But they will tell you they need it for farming, for example. So all African countries need to be guided by very strong rules, guidelines, as to someone coming along and taking large tracts that sometimes cover whole villages, whole towns, potentially. It ends up displacing people. It ends up making them have food insecurity because they lose their land to these people who grab lands. So we have to really be careful. So Ghana will learn a lot. Already the Lands Commission has put together guidelines for acquisition of large-scale, land investments. But the important thing to note also is that in the new bill, land bill, it's proposed that any acquisition of land beyond 50 acres should trigger an inquiry and for us to look into it and find out exactly why the land is being acquired. So the land bill is not yet law, but we are looking to the future. But with such a seminar, we are sensitizing the traditional rulers so that they, at their own level, would already begin to question anyone who comes along and says, I want 1,000 acres, I want 2,000 acres. We want to do that for the future of our people.
Now let's go back live to the grounds where the commissioning of the new fecal treatment plant by President Mahama is taking place. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba is there. Hello, Maxwell.
Yeah, hello, Bennett.
Yes, what is this plant and what exactly is its use? Because we know that they want it to be used for what they claim to be better purposes. What is this plant and what will it do?
Well, Bennett, the practice of discharging raw sewage into the ocean at Colegon has been in existence for a very long time. I'm from the and that's where a lot of the states usually discharge their waste products. Well, today, the old Lavender Hill, as it is known, is being decommissioned, and in its place will be the new Lavender Hill, fecal treatment plant. So what it means is that we are no longer going to have the old Lavender Hill where untreated sewage is discharged directly into the sea. With this treatment plant put in place, what it means is that all sewage would come here, and Accra would come here, it will be treated before it will be discharged wherever it's supposed to be discharged. Now, the project coordinator, the managing director for the company that executed this project, has been talking about the benefits of this project. He said it would improve the biological life in the ocean because we will no longer be discharging untreated water into the ocean. Secondly, also...
So, Maxwell, if I get you right, they still will discharge the fecal matter into the sea, but it will be treated.
Okay, so what would now be discharged into the ocean will be treated, will be a waste product of the treated fecal matter. So we are no longer discharging, what he says, that they are no longer discharging the untreated waste, that's the fecal matter into the ocean. But what we discharge now will just be water. And he actually mentioned that the water that will be discharged into the ocean is clean and can be used by car washing companies, can be used to irrigate crops and all of that. So what it tells you is that the water that will now be discharged will not be as polluted as the previous one that used to be discharged at the Lavender Hill.
All right, Maxwell, but I'm sure they would have some proper use for the other components of the waste if the water is going back into the sea. But is this plant in operation now?
With the commissioning happening today, operation is likely to begin in full swing in the coming days. The managing director of the company that executed the project, he's been speaking about the enormous benefits that we're likely to benefit from this. He says that it will provide about 200 jobs to people living around this community. He also talks about how it will produce a biogas and also improve human health and well-being through the reduction of stench. So they've put in all systems and mechanisms in place to make sure that even though the treatment plant will be here, no stench would emanate from this place.
All right, thank you.
What we previously had at the Lavender Hill. Right,
thank you very much, Maxwell Agbagba. That sure is some good news for those living around the Lavender Hill and those who use that road. You're watching Joy News today with me, Benis.